Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight podcast. Today's guest is Andrée Martin. Now, if Andrée is on our show, we know it's Mindset Monday. It's our opportunity to bring together at the confluence of this wonderful world of golf and the wonderful world of business and how this overlap occurs and the effect that it can have on ourselves and the people around us. So who is Andrée Martin? Andrée is your leadership, mindset, and golf performance coach. Andrée is an LPGA Class A life member, a nationally recognized top 50 golf teacher and expert, and a member of the Maine Golf Hall of Fame. Recognizing golf's value as a business tool in today's competitive marketplace, Andrée works with individuals, groups, corporate or organizational clients to create educational and team-building programs that enhance the professional success of aspiring executives. Andrée returns to the Success Insight podcast, obviously, for this new episode. And so we're excited today for this episode of Mindset Monday. Andrée, welcome.
Thank you, Howard. As always, it's great to be here with you to talk golf and business. Today's topic is making an impact. How do you make the best impact possible? That can take many forms, but I always bring every player that comes to me for a golf lesson back to the fundamentals. Notice the word fun in there, right? But yes.
Fun, yes.
How do the top players master the fundamentals? Well, if you increase and you keep training with quality, knowing that the key to greatness is not and success, it can get boring doing the fundamentals, but coming back to that over and over again really establishes trust, certainty, confidence, and therefore the ability to persist under all conditions on the course. If you trust and have that certainty in your grip, your GPA plus B, grip, stance, posture, and balance. Anything and everything in life needs to have balance. And so how have you postured yourself in your business in today's world and postured yourself for success? And how often do you go back to those fundamentals to make sure your ladder is on the right wall, headed towards success? The golf pros are constantly doing that. I know in another episode, I mentioned Meg Mellon years ago when I watched Mike McGettrick give her a lesson, and they went right back to the fundamentals. She was off in her posture. It was just a subtle thing. It was a spine tilt angle had shifted, and it just was the difference between solid contact and missing the ball all over the place. Solid contact in golf is impact position in all the right places. You want to be able to compress the ball and make solid impact every single time. And to create that over and over again, we need sound fundamentals.
I'm curious, growing up and watching sports on TV, it was usually baseball, my first love, golf, and then bowling was probably 3 because my mom loved watching bowling. Therefore, I had to watch bowling. But I remember there were stories about athletes being in a slump. And the way to overcome that was to go back to the fundamentals. And so the player, whether it be a baseball player or the golfer, would go back and with their coach and work on those fundamentals. So it's almost as though you're doing something, that little angle slightly off, but then the coach or the leader, say in business, goes back and starts from square one and kind of rebuilds themselves to, in the golfer's case, they're back in the rhythm and the grip, the balance, etc. Same thing with business. It's just when you're off, you've got to have to go back and look at, why am I off? What have I done differently? How do I go back with purpose to reignite the right way to do things and to make it consistent?
I find it interesting as we're speaking, it's hitting me how many of the words in golf actually do cross over to leadership, because you want to get a grip. How are you going to get a grip on your business is you're going to posture yourself consistently in the same posture versus coming out of it, so that you're setting yourself up for impact and success. To do that on a regular basis over and over and over with consistency takes solid impact every single time. And so there's nothing wrong. In fact, I find leaders need to go back to just the foundation of everything. And how are you lining yourself up? And where do you need to maybe make some tweaks? Makes me think, if I get a player with an injury, okay, so they've got a lower back injury. Well, they've been focused on that posture for a long time, over and over and over in the same place. Well, maybe they need to be a little more upright to allow that back to rotate and maintain itself in that posture we've been working toward. But now with that injury, they need to adjust it a little bit, kind of like adding a little oil and lube in the joint of a vehicle to get it moving along, or changing or adding memory into your computer. All of those things are important to keep coming back to and checking. And when you have that certainty, as you mentioned, I think in the last episode that we did, I loved what you said, is trust and grounded foundation creates certainty. When you have some certainty, there is no question about success. It happens. And you're in total alignment. Okay, alignment is a huge cause of errors in golf swings. If you're not in alignment, you're going to make up all these Band-Aids to get yourself back on track, because the athlete's always going to find the golf ball, no matter what.
You know, it's interesting. You just said something that reminded me of a conversation. This idea of, if you're not in alignment in business, if you're not in alignment to your values and what you are passionate about, if you're putting yourself in a position of doing things that you don't feel strongly about, there is a risk that you're not going to show up with your best self, either as a leader or as the owner of a company or the leader of a team. You're not showing up for your team, for your company in the best way that you can. And so that having that value is so very important.
And then when I think about teams, as you're talking, the leader always having to show up in that consistent manner, why does a top leader surround themselves with great people? Well, women can have an excuse, oh, I just had a PMS day, right? But we all have days where our rhythms are not necessarily at their peak. And so by surrounding ourselves with those top leaders on the team keeps elevating itself and stepping up into more greatness. Why does a tour player have his whole team or her whole team of sports psychology, swing coach? Some have putting coaches, some have short game coaches, in addition to full swing coaches. And it depends on the player and their individual needs, just like it depends on the corporate leader or entrepreneurial leader. And surrounding yourself with leaders that fill your weaknesses so that the whole team strengthens. And then on a day where you're off, that other solid team member is their presence of being focused and lasered into the goals of the team helps everybody else get back on track and maintain that alignment that is so critical for success.
And I can definitely see this in the business world, but I'm also curious for the professional golfer, he or she, at the end of the day, I mean, they have their caddy
right
working with them, but it's up to them to hit the ball, to whether it's, in the playing the percentages where it's most important, but when they're not at their peak performance in the moment in that day, how do they overcome that? Because in the business world, you've got your team, hopefully, there to support you.
Yeah. You've got your team, you've got your data, you've got your metrics. And in golf, we have that too. We're looking at greens hit, putts. How are our shots inside 100 yards, maybe 120, 130, or 150 and in? Where am I strong today? Where was I weak? What do we need to capitalize on for tomorrow to have an even better round? And how do we modify? Okay, so maybe I was off in my pre-shot routine and just need to create that more consistently so I can carry it all the way through the bag from tee to green. It's a game of tenths and hundredths when you think about swimmers in the Olympics. It can be 1/100th of a second winning gold versus the silver. And It's the one that really stretches and reaches and stays laser focused on the goal and where they're going. And yes, along the way in preparation, you're looking at, okay, where am I missing out? Where do I need to build those strengths? But when it comes to game day and delivery and actual play or actual, the actual meet, it's all about eye on the target. It's all about, okay, how are we as a team, or how am I as the individual in helping the whole team going to really nail that target out there and impact for the greater good of the whole team?
Fantastic. Andrée, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where's the best place for them to go?
They can come to my website, Andrée at AndreeGolf.com, or my Facebook site, or YouTube, which is Andrée Martin Golf.
So we're on YouTube now. You are.
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. All right. You've made the cut. All right.
Yes. And building. We're adding more. Love to have your feedback, folks. We're all about helping everybody get better and better each and every day, aren't we, Howard?
You have that totally correct. You're spot on. And we'll most definitely provide links back to the website, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the YouTube site in our show notes. Andrée, it's been a pleasure, as usual, to have you on the Success Insight podcast. And we're looking forward to having many more episodes with you. So thank you again for spending part of your weekend with us.
My pleasure.
And I just said, folks, spending time of your weekend with us, because we even though we tried our best to publish these every Monday, sometimes, hey, things happen. But we are producing these throughout the week, any given week, multiple episodes, so that we can then queue those up for you to make Mindset Monday. So we certainly hope that you are enjoying this time together with Andrée, and you appreciate and hopefully getting some things out of this conversation that we are having. And like today, making an impact and just coming back to those fundamentals and really, looking at the things, those little micro movements, those micro expressions, whether it's on the golf course and how as the professional prepares, or even in the world of business, how is that leader preparing, working to deliver on their own or with their team to achieve the success that they desire. So really some great tie-ins between the wonderful world of golf and the business world. So once again, I do hope you are enjoying these episodes of Mindset Monday. So folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day. Let us know what your thoughts are about the Success Insight podcast and these episodes on Mindset Monday. Visit our webpage at successinsightpodcast.com, and we are on LinkedIn and Facebook as well, and Success Insight Podcast, and also on YouTube. And this is an opportunity we'd love to hear your feedback. And if you've got some thoughts, ideas for our episodes, we definitely would like to hear from you what those are. Okay? So once again, go out there, have a phenomenal day, and we will see you on the next episode of the Success Insight podcast and Mindset Monday. Take care, folks. We'll see you again soon.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.